Do you want your aim to look like this?
There is no way!
But no matter how much you practice or play deathmatch, your recoil still looks like this?
Oh my god, bro.
Well, don't worry, because in this guide, I'll break down 4 reasons why your aim is so bad, along with the exact steps on how to fix that. We're gonna cover all the essential things from settings and sitting position, to aim components and environment usage to boost your aim and confidence to the next level. But most importantly, I'll try to explain it as simply as possible, without any super mega complex stuff. Because in reality, your aim boils down to the most basic things that you can fix right after you watch this video. I haven't seen other players explain some of these topics in detail, so make sure to watch this video till the end. Hit that like button below and check out today's sponsor. Rustly is one of the fastest growing Rust websites with a lot of games to play, many deposit methods including skins, cards and crypto, and instant withdrawals with a store full of skins. You can climb 5 free cases by using code STELIC or clicking the link in the first comment. You can battle against real players or bots in games like Case Battles, Coin Flip and even Minefield and win cool skins. And if it's not enough for you, you can get a lot of bonuses and free cases every 24 hours. In fact, you can get 5 free cases right now if you click the link in the first comment or go to rustly.com and use code STELIC. Please remember, loot boxes sites can be addictive, so make sure you're over 18 and only spend money you can afford to lose. Good luck! The first reason your aim sucks because you're using the wrong sitting position. Your chair, table and monitor can have a significant impact on both your aim and your health. If you're sitting like a goblin, it's no surprise if you're dealing with back, neck, wrist or shoulder pain or even injuries. Also, don't forget about your eyes, because they're going through so much stress that you couldn't even imagine. I have to learn it the hard way from my personal experience, so I want to warn you about it, because now my eyesight is down to -3.5 and that really sucks. And the older you get, the worse it will get. So, to make sure you don't have any health problems and can aim as good as possible, let's find out what sitting position is best for you. And let's start with a chair. Ideally, you should pick the height of the chair so that you have more or less 90-degree angles. If you don't do this, you will run into 2 problems. If your chair is too low, you will be forced to either shrug your shoulders upwards, lean your body sideways, or disconnect and rest your elbows higher, all of which can cause shoulder pain over time. Additionally, your legs will be bent in an unnatural position, which will reduce blood flow to the lower part of your body. On the other hand, if your chair is too high, you'll have to hunch your back and shoulders and lean forward into a bad posture position. Or the opposite, where you'll have to lean backwards. All of this leads to you not being able to play for a long time, and your aim will be shaky, not accurate and not consistent, because your body is in a bad sitting position. Therefore, you need to adjust your chair, table and monitor so that you are sitting in a natural position with about 90-degree angles. Here's a great example of how you should sit. This will allow blood to flow freely through your body and prevent extra pressure on your back, wrists, shoulders and neck. On top of that, it will be much easier for you to maintain that form, sit in front of the computer for longer periods of time, and keep your aim calm and consistent. But let's be real, if you look at pro players, you'll see that they all have different sitting positions that are far from perfect. So you need to find a compromise that allows you to sit comfortably while minimizing the damage to your health. Next, let's open the game and change a few settings that can have a huge impact on your gameplay. First, open Option tab and change the field of view to 90. This setting allows you to see more of what's happening around the edges of your screen, which could be the key to winning a fight. However, in addition to this setting, I recommend using this keybind to zoom in and out. This keybind will help you if you are shooting at your enemy from a long distance. I leave this comment in the description below, so you can just copy it. Next, disable the head bob setting. If this setting is enabled, you will have screen shaking while running, which can be very distracting. Make sure that crosshair, hit cross and hurt flash are enabled. Thanks to the first setting, you will always have a crosshair in the middle of the screen. The second setting will show you when you hit the enemy, and the third setting will show you when you are hit. Next, scroll to the bottom of the page and disable the Show Blood option. If this option is enabled, every time you get hit, your screen will turn red, and the less HP you have, the worse you will see what's going on around you. So be sure to disable this option. I won't discuss graphics settings or the other options in this video, because I already have a full guide on this topic on my channel. However, I want to say a very important thing. If you have a bad PC, no settings will help you, because it's almost impossible to have a good aim when your game is running at 40 to 50 FPS. So, if you have an aim for platform, get a 5700 X3D. If you want to build a new PC on AM5 platform, make sure you buy an X3D CPU, because it performs the best in Rust. If you have an Intel, then nothing will help you. Just kidding. In any case, CPUs with more L3 cache show better performance in Rust, so think about upgrading your PC. As for the mouse sensitivity and DPI, it's all individual. Personally, I'm using 800 DPI and 0.5 cents right now. But some players prefer low sense for more precise, small movements, while others prefer high sense for easier large movements. It's better to be in the middle, so you can do both, and that's between 0.2 to 0.5 or even 0.6. If your aim is too shaky, try to lower your sense. If your aim is too slow, try to increase it. In general, you should be able to make a full 180 turn in one motion without going over the edge of the mousepad. So try experimenting with this to find the sensitivity that works best for you. Now that you are sitting correctly and have chosen the perfect sensitivity for you, let's discuss the main aim components that make a good player. This is a fairly broad topic that includes many components, but let's go through them one by one. Your aim consists of tracking, recoil control, flicking, spraying and tap firing. However, there are small details that can affect it, namely the weapons you use, the clothing and the attachments. For example, it's much easier to control the recoil of a semi-rifle than that of an AK-47. So first, let's talk about what you can do right now to improve your aim without practicing or spending a lot of time. First and most importantly, you should buy tactical gloves from the safe zone. This will allow you to completely remove shaking while aiming, which is really helpful when using an 8x scope. Also, you should always have a laser sight. This is a must-have attachment, especially with the new recoil system. It helps a lot with long distances and is best for AKs and most other automatic guns. Same goes for the hollow sight. This attachment will also increase your accuracy, and if you combine it with a laser sight, you'll find it much easier to shoot any weapon, and you'll feel the difference immediately. If you find it difficult to fire an automatic weapon, use a semi-automatic rifle. They're much easier to fire, because you don't have to control the recoil. Also, always shoot while sitting down. This way you will increase accuracy and reduce recoil at least several times. These tricks will help you to instantly improve your aim. Finally, it's time to practice. First, you need to find a UKNGG server. I leave the link in the description below. Once you've joined the server, find this room called Targets and select flat range mode. Use gloves, a laser and a scope along with the AK to make it easier to control your recoil and start practicing. To control recoil, turn on the recoil HUD. It will show the recoil of the weapon you are holding. If you're using the AK, all you have to do is pull the mouse down and left while shooting to hit one point. If you're using an MP5, you just need to pull the mouse down. For other weapons, this pattern will be different, so you need to try to shoot as close to the perfect pattern as possible, and this will take some time. I recommend spending 10 to 15 minutes to get a feel for how to control the recoil of the weapon you're using, and then join a deathmatch to test your skills against real players in real conditions. Unfortunately, there is no magic pill at this stage. You will have to spend time getting better with each weapon, but once you do, I guarantee you will have tremendous confidence in your abilities. By the way, if you're wondering why I recommend training against real players, it's because you'll be able to improve all the components of your aim, including tracking, flicking, tap firing and burst firing. At long range, it's better to use tap firing. At medium range, use burst firing. At close range, learn to control the recoil and quickly switch to another target using flicks. This way you're practicing every component without even noticing. And finally, let's talk about the last point, which I think can have even more impact on the outcome of PvP than your aim. I'm talking about your movements and how you can use the environment. You have to agree that no matter how well you can shoot, if you can't see your enemy or if you are in a bad position without any cover, you won't have a chance to win. And there are a few simple rules you must follow. First of all, always try to be above your enemy, because you can take a couple of steps back and he won't see you. But if you're below, it will be much harder to hide. Secondly, avoid open spaces and empty fields, because you won't have anywhere to hide if somebody starts shooting at you. Third, always bring barricades or other items, so you always have cover nearby. Always take advantage of your surroundings. You can use bushes, trees, rocks, cars, etc. to catch your enemies off guard. And lastly, sometimes it's better to avoid PvP and wait for the right moment when only 1 or 2 people are left alive. You can also bypass PvP altogether if you realize that you have a little chance of success. That way you will save your loot for a more suitable time. If there's anything I forgot or didn't mention, write about it in the comments below to help other players. Also, share your tips on how to increase your chances of success during PvP. I'd be interested to know them. And if you want to learn more about Rust, then in this guide, I'll show you 20 tips and tricks to get better in Rust, from the light ones to those that will definitely blow your mind.